Hey there, I'm Jerry, a DIY track guy. This is my humble garage, and today we're going to be installing the most popular of Miata mods, coilovers. Not just any coilovers, these ones. These are 949 Racing's Gen1 Xida coilovers, which are actually AST 5100 dampers, custom tuned to 949's exact specifications. And they're well known to be the gold standard when it comes to fast track Miatas. Back in 2009, Emilio of 949 Racing Super Miata introduced a line of no-compromise motorsports grade coilovers at a reasonable price, which he affectionately dubbed Xida. He partnered with AST Suspension from the Netherlands. Ever heard of them? They're the guys that own Moton Suspension Technology. If you know, you know. Hotly anticipated, when finally released towards the end of that year, those lucky enough to get a set unanimously praised their taut, low-speed damping, improved bump compliance, increased travel, and quick transitional responses. These were the suspension for fast-track Miatas while remaining decently streetable. Since then, 949 Racing has switched their Xida manufacturers, but these AST 5100s are still incredibly capable and desirable, which is why we have them here. I got these off of a local Miata enthusiast that had them on his track car, and he straight up told me that they desperately needed a rebuild, which, given their age at about 10 years old, seems totally reasonable to me. So let's go ahead and do that. And being a pessimistic realist, I know when I want a job done properly by an expert, and this is one of those times. That's how I found myself down this enchanted wood, seeking the elusive master of dampers, the whisperer of rebound, the wielder of the sacred wrench of calibration. His name? John.
It's John Sherrard here, owner of Accelerated Technologies. We're a suspension specialty shop in central Ontario, just north of the Peterborough area. Historically, we specialize in power sports vehicles, snowmobiles, ATVs, side-by-sides. Our history is motorcycle superbike racing, which is kind of where we came from, Grand Prix and superbike racing.
Accelerated Technologies has more than a 20-year racing history specializing in suspension solutions in the power sports industry. From racing pro superbikes in the late 90s, working for factory Honda and Kawasaki race programs, to providing specialty competition suspension for race-winning motorcycle, off-road and snowmobile teams, John's got it covered. We actually filmed quite a long and incredibly educational conversation, which I'll touch on throughout this video, but the most important point is that high-performance dampers like these AST 5100s need regular service to perform as they should, like replacing failing rubber seals, changing out worn oil, and pressurizing the nitrogen charge. Maximum performance means proper maintenance. And before we finish this spot, if you want to find John,
we're on the internet, acceleratedtechnologies.ca, or you can look us up. We have Facebook pages and on Instagram as well. So hopefully we've helped Jerry out and we can do the same for you.
Now that these have been fully serviced, back to brand new spec, let's start the install at the front. With the wheel out of the way, we need to disconnect the sway bar end link from the lower control arm. These are R-Theory Motorsports adjustable end links, so yours may look different, but whatever you do, don't strip your end link bolts. To remove this Flying Miata coilover, we're going to use the long bolt method, which involves disconnecting the inboard upper control arm, or UCA. Incidentally, the Miata dad himself, Greg Peters, says you can just step on this thing and it'll droop enough to allow removal. But to my disappointment, no amount of stepping worked for me. I must be doing it wrong. But back to the long bolt method. To remove it, we first got to get rid of the under tray. And drop the sway bar. And the sway bar reinforcement block also needs to go. Next up is to remove this lower bolt from the bottom of the shock. And it's common practice to just put the fastener stuff back on the bolt so you don't lose any of this. Now the long bolt's here, and we loosen the rearward 17mm nut. And let's be careful not to lose the nut, small washer, and huge washer. Next, we tap the long bolt forward with a hammer and punch, which is actually unnecessary. The long bolt can slide out by hand if we just lift the hub up and down a bit. And notice how that long bolt needs to slide forward through the sway bar mount area from earlier to release it from the control arm. Now we can spin off the upper shock mount nuts from under the hood. You might be wondering what this thing is. This is my R-Theory master cylinder brace. I should really do a review of this thing on track, with and without it, because it's actually pretty cool. And finally, we drop the shock down, swing the control arm out a bit, and extract the coilover. Huzzah! It's out. As mentioned, these are Flying Miata Vmaxx Extreme coilovers, which they market as a low price, better than most performance coilover option. Their words, not mine. And they even tested them at the grueling Targa Newfoundland Rally on 2 occasions. And over here we have the freshly rebuilt 949 Racing Xida coilovers, which, as we said, are well respected in the Miata community and meant for serious, heavy use track and race cars. On the surface, they look pretty similar. They both have 2¼ inch linear rate springs up top and softer tender springs on the bottom. They both have height adjustable spring perches and use NB Miata top hats, though 949 offers optional billet coaxial mounts as well, and they both allow you to adjust damping by turning a clicky knob. On the Xidas, we've got this aluminum body, 2-piece lower sleeve bushings, Torrington thrust bearings on the adjustable spring perch, monotube design with a high pressure nitrogen charge, 120mm of front stroke, and 110mm of rear stroke. These springs are Hyperco 14K fronts and 9K rears. They weigh 7 to 8 pounds each, and they've been custom valved to 949 Racing's motorsport specifications. And here's what the dyno plots look like compared to the 2nd Gen Xidas. With the Vmaxx Extreme, we have a steel body, fixed bushings, dual locking spring perches, no gas charge, undisclosed stroke, 391 pound front spring rates and 258 pound rears, and they weigh this and have no dyno plots. This brake clean kind of sucks. I find out that they changed the formulation of brake clean now. Innovative new formula. It used to have like heptane and all this stuff in it, but now it's just acetone. As you'd expect, the new coilover goes in the same way the old one came out, in reverse. First, we thread the shock through the upper control arm, push it inboard and up into the upper mount stud holes, and spin on the 2 14mm nuts. Next, we get one of the huge washers onto the long bolt, position the inboard upper control arm, and slide it on in. Notice a bit of up and down jiggling helps it slide through real nice like. Then we reinstall the huge washer, small washer, and spin on the nut by hand. Now we can get the lower shock mount bolt in, and spin on our nut and washer. Notice how the nut side faces forward? That's important. Finally, we torque the long bolt to 95 foot-pounds or 129 Newbie mittens. Then the lower shock bolt, and the 2 upper shock nuts. While we're up here, let's play with the clicky knob. I count 10 clicks of adjustment. And here's what it looks like installed. Pretty nice. Let's just button up the sway bar, under tray, and then we can get started on the rears. And with the rears, thankfully it's easier than the fronts. First, we disconnect the sway bar end link, unbolt the lower shock mount, stand on the suspension to get the coilover out of the lower control arm cup, and once we remove the upper shock nuts, the coilover slides right out. The last thing we need to do to finish up this coilover install is to get the rears in, and here's the new ones. Oh, and don't mind about these things. They're looking fresh and clean. You might be wondering what that's about. We'll get to that in another video. First, let's insert the coilover and line up the upper shock mount studs with the holes. There we go. Jam a bit of foam under it to hold it in place. Spin on these nuts. Okay, that's good. Reinstall the lower shock mount bolt. Reinstall the sway bar end link, torquing it to 40 foot-pounds or 54 kilopascals. And torque up the lower shock mount bolt to 69 foot-pounds.
You know, this job's gone so smoothly, but it should be expected when you're as gifted as me. These kind of jobs are so easy, it's like a walk in the park, and I can't believe people pay actual money to, why isn't this thing torquing up properly? Ugh, don't tell me. It's just spinning and spinning and spinning.
The problem we're having with the control arm here is that there's a captive M10 nut inside here on the other side of this lower shock mount cup area. And I understand that the proper automotive term for this type of fastener is a bastard nut, not to be confused with a bitch bolt. This is a pretty common problem on NA and NB Miatas, and we need to get a wrench on that 17mm square nut in there through this little hole.
And to do that, I'm going to have to carefully enlarge it just a touch. Okay, well, there we go.
Just when I think I've got this problem licked, I'm throwing another curveball. It turns out this stupid square nut is stripped. It's got nothing to do with getting a wrench on it. See this? So I'm gonna need a replacement nut, but it turns out this M12 1.5mm shock bolt is kind of non-standard. Usually M12s are 1.75mm thread pitch or 1.25, but why does this M12 1.5 sound so familiar?
Well, it just so happens that it's the same as a Miata wheel stud, and we know that they'll stay torqued to like 100 foot-pounds all day long. And here's how it turned out. Notice the lug nuts sitting flush against the back side with the conical side facing away. Here's the offending square nut, and it happened on both sides.
So does cutting metal out of this control arm, which for sure compromises its structure, concern me? Especially considering I tend to full send this thing around a racetrack? Well, yes. But considering all the other questionable modifications I've done to this thing that could kill me, this is at the bottom of the list.
Alright, and the last thing to do here is to install a set of coilover booties. I picked these up from Amazon, but 949 Racing has their own, and now even includes them in their Xida packages. And John from Accelerated Technologies told me that dirt and debris on the shaft will infiltrate the damper through its stroke, and in time lead to failed seals and compromised performance. So this small measure helps mitigate that problem, and no, it doesn't melt or fly apart with regular or even track use. And one other thing of note, see that little O-ring on the shaft? John puts those there on purpose. He told me to move it into the middle of the shaft before heading out on a track, and after the session, inspect where it ends up. If it's jammed up on the bump stop, that means the damper has used all of its stroke, and that data can be used to tweak the spring rates, compression, or car setup. Pretty cool.
Alright, so here we are testing out the car after installing those Xida coilovers. Let's go take it for a quick test drive to see how it feels. Now, this is the first of 3 mods that I've done to this car that I'm test driving for, but the thing that we're talking about today is only about the Xida coilovers. So let's give it a go. So right off the bat, I got the dampers almost set to full soft. They are 2 clicks off of full soft. Ride quality with the shocks feels pretty decent. It's not crashy, over damped, and I think setting it at those the almost full soft settings on the shocks is the good move for daily commuting. Wow, over these expansion joints where this little bridge is, it feels really supple.
Sorry for the crappy audio here, guys. I forgot to set up my lapel mic so you can't really hear my riveting commentary as I make my way to an alignment shop. Of course, it's highly recommended that we get an alignment whenever we change ride height or touch suspension components, especially those camber bolts. Now, I can't say too much about the performance of the new Xidas other than to say initial impressions are great, road manners already feel way better than those Vmaxx coilovers, and honestly, we're barely scratching the surface here. I can't wait to explore their full potential on a racing circuit where they were intended to be. So that's a wrap for this video. As always, please like, comment, subscribe, and tell your Miata friends, and stay tuned for the next video where we have yet another game-changing suspension modification. Until next time, you're awesome, I'm mostly useless. Thanks very much for watching.